Your freedom came at too high a price.
The mission was compromised. The same person who set me up then has just set me up again. So I'm going after him. Got your attention.
Tell me what you know of James Bond.
He'll light the fuse on any explosive situation.
Show me the diamonds.
Don't blow it all at once.
What happened to you? Bond.
And be a danger to himself and others.
I'm going to let him mix things up a little.
My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
Wow, now there's a mouthful.
Who sent you?
Your mama.
Glad you could make it, Mr. Bond.
I see you don't chase dreams, you live them.
One of the virtues of never sleeping.
I have to live my dreams. Time to draw the line.
Well, it seems you've become useful again.
Maybe it's time you let me get on with my job. So, this is where they keep the old relics in, eh? Twist so, voila! You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Better than looking cleverer than you are.
James, be careful.
A nice palace can be such a treacherous place.
I take it Mr. Bond's been explaining his Big Bang theory.
Yeah, I think I got the thrust of it.
Must you touch everything?
Would you like to show me more?
Kill him.
Now!
1,000 meters and closing.
Put you back into it, eh? Let's get down to business.
Looks like we're going down together.
Not yet!
Your freedom came at too high a price.
The mission was compromised. The same person who set me up then has just set me up again. So I'm going after him. Got your attention.
Tell me what you know of James Bond.
He'll light the fuse on any explosive situation.
Show me the diamonds.
Don't blow it all at once.
What happened to you? Bond.
And be a danger to himself and others.
I'm going to let him mix things up a little.
My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
Wow, now there's a mouthful.
Who sent you?
Your mama.
Glad you could make it, Mr. Bond.
I see you don't chase dreams, you live them.
One of the virtues of never sleeping.
I have to live my dreams. Time to draw the line.
Well, it seems you've become useful again.
Maybe it's time you let me get on with my job. So, this is where they keep the old relics in, eh? Twist so, voila! You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Better than looking cleverer than you are.
James, be careful.
A nice palace can be such a treacherous place.
I take it Mr. Bond's been explaining his Big Bang theory.
Yeah, I think I got the thrust of it.
Must you touch everything?
Would you like to show me more?
Kill him.
Now!
1,000 meters and closing.
Put you back into it, eh? Let's get down to business.
Looks like we're going down together.
Not yet!
When danger becomes a temptation. When every move brings you closer to the edge. When you live each day like it's your last. There's a surprise around every curve. Die another day.
Magnificent view.
My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
Now there's a mouthful.
You're a rare challenge, Mr. Bond.
Where you're going, you'll get us both killed.
Let's get down to business.
I take it Mr. Bond's been explaining his Big Bang theory.
Yeah, I think I got the thrust of it.
What happened to you?
Bond. Plenty of time to sleep when you're dead.
So you live to die another day.
On November 22nd,
My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
one woman will play a dangerous game
What are you?
I'm a girl that just doesn't like to get tied down.
with the one man who doesn't like to lose.
So I left you in an explosive situation.
Occupational hazard.
Pierce Brosnan,
Let's get down to business.
Halle Berry,
Who sent you?
Your mama. Looks like we're going down together.
Not yet!
Die Another Day, rated PG-13. Some men have great cars.
It's all the usual refinement. Why don't you acquaint yourself with manuals? Be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours.
Just took a few seconds, Q.
Some men have great moves,
It's a 00 and a wild one.
but only one man
James.
Bond.
has it all.
I'm going to let him mix things up a little.
With pleasure.
Must you touch everything?
Absolutely.
Die Another Day, rated PG-13. another day. Rated PG-13.
Ultimately, the whole gig is a blast. It's a great job. It's a fantastic role to play. And I think if you've made peace with the role and made peace with what it can do to your career going in, then you can have a great time. And it comes with lots of opportunities. But it comes with a huge responsibility as well. And it is like no other acting job. Because the legacy that you've entered into, because it is such a loved character, movie, franchise, you want to give 110%, you know, every day. So this time round, you know, they have him as a renegade. He's outside the shop, the firm, MI5, MI6. He's on the run, he's a loose cannon, he's lost his identity. He doesn't have his 00 status. And I think it was a very bold move for them to have him captured, have him tortured, have him stripped of any identity. Timing is everything in life. And, you know, she got the Oscar at the very beginning of this picture. I think it's the last thing she probably ever expected, you know, but she certainly, you know, gave a great performance in Monsters Ball, and then suddenly we have this gorgeous woman with us. And she's worked extremely hard as an actor. And she has that burning want, you know, to succeed, to do good work. So we're really blessed in having her. I don't know, I must be getting sentimental in my old age, but I feel a great sense of love for it. And it's also gone very quickly. And people say, are you coming back? Would you want to do another one? And if they asked, I would say yes, I would like to do another one. For the Bond aficionado, I think this is going to be a feast. I think this will be, I like to think this will be a very fine film and will have longevity, you know, as far as enjoyment goes. And ultimately, that's all it's about. Just sheer enjoyment and having a great time making them.
I was really surprised, you know, and I just laughed like crazy at first. And then I thought, are you serious? They really want me to be in the Bond movie? And then I was really excited. You know, I grew up watching Bond and sort of fantasizing about being in that world of mystery and intrigue and all the gadgets and sort of the fun, you know, and the fantasy of it. So to have a chance to be a part of it is just like sheer fun and joy. Yeah, gunfire, people running, mayhem, smoke, things blowing up, and then, you know, Bond and Jinx standing cool in the face of fire. That's what, you know, Bond movies are. But it has been really cold, and I've been wet in all of my scenes in a little sundress and barefoot, and it's been a little chilly, yeah. But, you know, that's part of it. That's part of the movie. I remember Lee looked at me one day, and he said, "This is what you wanted to do, darling. You signed up." And I said, "Yes, I did, and I love it." And one of the best things is that the very next day I had to fly back to London and resume working on Bond. And it was such a reality check for me, and it was a wonderful reality because I come back to a great movie and I got right back into what life of an actor is really all about, and it's about the work. And it's not really about those moments where you get accolades. It's about the moments when you're doing the work. that allows you to even stand up there for 4 minutes in my case, and accept an award.
I've looked at a lot of the old movies, and with sort of special attention to the last 3. And, you know, you want to find out what everybody else did and try and bring something new to the game and not to kind of fall into any sort of set cliches, you know, or as few as possible. So it was a great help watching the old movies and you know, getting some ideas, but also, you know, finding areas which you want to avoid because they've already been done before, you know. So it's a fine line, really. But I suppose when it really hit me was really doing scenes with Piers, you know. When I first started doing scenes with Piers. It's quite throwing, actually, because you suddenly think, my God, you know, I mean, I'm opposite James Bond, you know, this is really freaky. So it's not, I hope I don't ever get used to it, but it's certainly novel for me anyway, and I'm enjoying it immensely. Well, Graves is he goes under the guise of being an eco-friendly entrepreneur, industrialist. He's ostensibly, it seems like he's mining diamonds in Iceland, and that it's an eco-friendly kind of exercise, you know. And but actually, it isn't.
You know, they told me I got the job, and they told me I was doing it, and I came in and I said to everybody I was doing it, and it wasn't until I actually was doing it that I thought, bloody hell, God, I'm making a Bond film. I mean, yeah, it's got more exciting. And I suppose actually doing the stuff with Pace is fantastically exciting, because you've got, you know, you're on set with James Bond, because he is, you know, he so is Bond now, and he's made it so his own. He knows exactly what Bond does in every tiny situation, and you realise that, you know, you're an actor and you're doing a bed scene with Pierce Brosnan, but you're also in bed with James Bond, and that was exciting. You know, that was exciting, really. I do feel like I've landed in a big adventure playground, really, especially, you know, doing the gun training and doing, you know, it is the kind of stuff you used to play in the you know, it's playground stuff, a lot of it, although it's serious and it's real and it's work. Lucky girl. I'm getting letters from people all the time, you know, Bond fans, and that's another of the huge responsibilities that you want to live up to. You know, I think you get these letters from people who love the girls in James Bond, and you think, how lucky am I to get to add to this tradition and make and create another of these women. Then, yeah, I've got to have a hell of a lot of fun with it, but take that job or that responsibility seriously as well. Yeah, I get to play Miranda Frost, who's PA to the main villain of the piece, Gustav Graves. That's Toby Stevens' character, obviously, and it's revealed quite early on that she's not simply a PA. She's been placed as a mole by MI6 inside this organisation to find out what's going on, because here's this amazingly impressive guy who's suddenly launched himself from nowhere on the British event scene and is organising press coups and demonstrations and is becoming the darling of the media, making a hell of a lot of money. And MI6 want to know what's going on.
The hardest thing for me, I mean, aside from anything else, was finding a way, because I'm not a traditionally trained actor, was finding a way to dislike Pierce Brosnan. You know, I have to bring some sort of like reality to what I'm doing, and you know, being the villain in this is really to find a way to take down Bond, and it's very hard to do this job, because you know, you read all the stories about him, and you know, you meet him in person, and there's no ego there. There's nothing, you know, he's always so open and so friendly to everybody. So that's been the hardest thing for me. Bond is the hero. I mean, not James, not the character, but but the whole idea of Bond and what's behind it, the sets, the locations, all the gadgets that come into place. I mean, I was just in Iceland the other day, racing, you know, in an Aston Martin across a 5,000-year-old glacier, doing, you know, 720-degree spins. I mean, all of these things come into this and make this franchise what it is. 40 years, 20 installments of it. When I was watching him as a child, I only saw certain aspects of him that said to me, wow, this is what I want to grow up to be. The macho type of swaggering, you know, confident individual that could take on anything in the world. Now that I'm older, I see the other sides of him. So Bond has actually changed to me, you know. He has more of the sensitive aspects of what a human being has to go through, especially in this movie. The journey that Bond has to go through now is something that he's never had to do before. And, you know, this is really the Bond of the millennium. I mean, I can't remember the last time something this grandiose really existed. But you did have some of the glamour scenes where Bond walks in, you know, in, I think, GoldenEye when he was in the casino. But this is something entirely on a different scale. I mean, again, I've seen all 19 at least 2 or 3 times. And every element of this movie is going to top them all.
Well, it seemed a little strange that Desmond wasn't here, because having played his assistant and having had the most wonderful conversations with him, because he was not just a lovely guy, he told wonderful stories. And I kept sort of thinking, where is he? But I didn't feel awkward, because the nice thing about being on Bond movies is that the atmosphere is really good. It's low-key, it's friendly, and you feel very comfortable. Q's attitude is, don't damage the gadgets. And if it means you're going to get killed, well, preferably don't damage the gadgets anyway, you know. And that's what it's all about. And he sees Bond as this playboy who is irresponsible and not acting his age. And that's what it's always going to be about, I think. The funny thing about learning gobbledygook is that some bits of it you get very easily. And then there will just be one phrase, like, I couldn't get target seeking shotguns out clearly, and I don't know why. Maybe it's a tongue twister. I just couldn't say it, and I blew up on that again and again. Whereas the quite difficult bit about tiny cameras on all sides project the image that they see onto a light-emitting polymer film on the opposite, that was quite simple. So you never know what you're going to go up on, but when there's a lot of gobbledygook, there's usually one phrase that you stick on. I mean, it's great to be a part of this crowd, because what is very touching about it is that there are people working on the set today whose grandfathers were working on Dr. No, and there's something very special about that. I always hope that Q is going to get sent on location to one of these marvelous places that Bond goes to, but I'm told that Desmond did 18 movies and only went on location once, so I'm going to have to be around some time before that happens.
But it's huge fun, because you do feel part of a family, and everybody knows each other quite well. Oh, I think she cares a great deal about him, but I think she doesn't show it too much. I think it's not her job to show it too much, but I think she cares very much about him and knows he's the best. I think that seeing all those amazing gadgets and wonderful things that, you know, Q's whole room of box of secrets and things, and all those have gone back. I was a fan years before I even dreamt I was going to be in a Bond film. I was a huge fan. And I think it's a glorious boys' world, which I think a lot of girls enjoy too. Well, it's like a breath of fresh air. If you've been playing one part, very often it jogs people's minds into thinking, oh, this is another good part, because it's rather similar. What is wonderful is being sent a part totally different, like the head of MI6. as opposed to, oh, Queen Victoria or one of those other queens that I played.
It's become more and more like an enormous party as the years have gone on. You know, the first time we were all nervous, I think, and didn't know each other, and if you're me, you just come in and sort of have a lark for a couple of days every 2 years. So, well, I think in this film you see a side of Moneypenny that the world hasn't seen before, and I think that her relationship with Bond changes, at least in her eyes. So there's quite a magical feeling around, and I think that's been around since the beginning. I think that started with Cubby, and the fact that the films have moved with the times, that the Bonds have moved with the times, the fact that you're creating a world always one step away from where the real world is. So each step the scientists make, our writers in their imaginations have to go one step further, which means that it's always exciting, it's always, you know, just that leap ahead of you, that and the action, and the sex appeal of the Bonds, of course.
He's indifferent to the Brits and very American, and but you know, on the right side of things. I think in the end, I think you're not really supposed to know whether Falco's a good guy or a bad guy. Bond is kind of a different thing. It's kind of a different journey, suspending your belief system, because it's such a giant, the legacy of the character and of the pictures and the villains of the pictures. But I think it's definitely something that you would look back on and say for sure that you'd be happy that you were involved with. I know my kids will be thrilled that, I know my sons will be very happy that Daddy's in a Bond picture. And once a Bond picture, once you've seen it, you can go back and see it again and again. It retains its excitement level, I think. And, you know, a lot of movies, you could care less if you ever saw it again. But Bond pictures got a shelf life. I think that's probably a big part of it, don't you think?
And I think she has quite a zest for this character. It's almost a female James Bond character. Very Modesty Blaze, if anyone ever remembers who that character was. So the two of them are very evenly matched, but we want to separate them. Bond is obviously a very British character, and she's very American. And I think she's going to bring to it a certain, I don't know, a certain aspect, which is she can only make her own, and we've got to let her do that. And I said, why don't we fill one of these rooms with all the gadgets from old Bond movies, everything we could think of, stuffed alligators from here. And if you look closer, you'll see the shoe, Rosa Kleeb's shoe, there's the briefcase from Russia with Love. They're everywhere. They're laid all over the place. There's the jetpack from Thunderball. And it was to be viewed more as a kind of relic room where all the gadgets were just thrown in the corner and never used again. So it was an opportunity to stage a scene where we could wander through all this stuff, pick it up, have a look at it, but actually play the new material amongst it all and just use it as a background, rather than have things blowing up in the background like they usually do. There's always a gag where something's being blown up, a phone booth is taking off or something. We decided to play all the old paraphernalia, almost like a museum.
And the Bond movie is about acting, but also it's about action, and it's about this kind of, it's this unstoppable machine where poor old Pierce, every morning, sometimes you wake up and say, what am I doing today? You know, well, you're looking over your shoulder and the thing blows up there, and that goes here, and this goes there, and you run over there, you know. Okay, I'll do that. And every one of those things he has to be sharp on. He can't be dismissive of any of them. He can't be, he can't go, oh, no, I'm a bit tired now. I think I'll do this one half-heartedly, so. Bond is sent into North Korea essentially to assassinate a rogue North Korean army officer who's out of control and running guns for diamonds, for African kind of conflict diamonds, if you will. While there, he gets betrayed, he gets hung out to dry, stuck in a North Korean jail for an indeterminate period of time, tortured, beaten up, and left pretty much for dead. He comes out of this, he's in a prisoner exchange, not by his choosing, and finds that everyone in the intelligence community, notably his own boss and the Americans, don't want to have anything to do with him. So he goes on a personal revenge rampage, if you will, following the rogue colonel's chief henchman around the world to try and find out who betrayed him and what went on.
Even though it was very exciting, it was also quite daunting. And also, to write a movie which has got its release date set before you've even agreed any ideas on it, that's daunting.
We thought that for this one it would be nice to get back to a bit more of the glamour and scale of some of the older Bond movies. Maybe some of the recent Bonds have been quite realistic, and there are elements that you'd only get in a Bond movie that you wouldn't get in Die Hard and normal action movies. The over-the-top villain's lair and actually the world domination aspect of it has been perhaps missing for a while.
So we kind of wanted to try and, you know, is that world still out there, the James Bond world, the one that only he inhabits? And I think having the Eden Project and the Ice Palace has been a really, it's great because and having a quite over-the-top villain who wouldn't exist in any other movie. I mean, certainly I think that it's exciting for us to see all that happening.
So we've got a couple of 180 degree turns in it. Got a big 1500 degree spin out, which was going to be a 720 degree, but he went around 4 times. Lots of broad power slides sideways, and again we've had all these cars built by the special effects. We've done an incredible job. They built them all 4-wheel drive purely for this, so we've done some fantastic big long power slides with them and things like that. Hovercraft are really strange from any wheeled vehicle. You tend to look at them and you still relate things going in linear directions with wheels and guidance systems, whereas a hovercraft is floating and the ground effect dictates which way it's going to go. It'll take the least line of resistance, so if you're going along a flat ground and then it develops a slope on it, it'll just slide down the slope no matter how much you try and steer it. So they're quite difficult in that respect.
Give me the old firing range any day, Quartermaster.
Yes, well, it's for the future, so get used to it.
So, this is where they keep the old relics, then, eh?
I'll have you know, this is where our most cutting-edge technology is developed.
Action.
Torpedoes, target-seeking shotguns, hunt out moving objects. Why don't you acquaint yourself? The manual should be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours.
Cut it. No, we'll go again, thanks.
Some more pop-ups here. Let's do the inside. cut it. And we've cut. We've cut.
Three, two, one, action. And cut it. Okay. Right. And action. And cut it. Very good, Pete. First good one, yes? Very good. Let's have one more, please. Excellent. Thank you, Pierce. But the thing's already stopped, right?
Yeah.
So we're already saying stop. So where was it when she stopped? You'd come back to about there?
There.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so you can be there, Hallie, and just kind of then straighten up accordingly.
Signs on that tree over there. If you look down on the ground, you've got a marker to
Fair enough.
See the blue and white? Yeah. So you see that, then you know 20 feet up, that's going to be a sign. And I think you see it, maybe that's when you pick the gun up, and now you're starting to look for mines or something.
Right, fair enough.
So you get the idea of
Okay.
that. Triggering them ahead.
Okay.
But we won't go through any mines.
We won't go through mines, no, but we will go down the hill and round the corner and stop. Give him a chance to stop, and then we'll back up a little bit, you know, reset.
That's why.
Steve, find out.
Because I mean, up and up is like going down.
No. Now, is that an easy thing to get off, Pierce, when it comes off? They made it.
Yeah, it will be.
Once you get it right, it will.
This line is cut, really.
Let's do this the old-fashioned way. First blood drawn from the torso.
Okay, good. Show me the strike, please. Bang. Okay, right. So they are a little dangerous still. We're going to check their angle in a minute. So the 135 will work.
Action!
Of course I bloody want to continue! Well, since what happened to... And cut it.
Cut.
Excellent.
Very good. Yes, like that. So it'll still give you room to turn out. How about that?
Yeah, that's great.
Good? Okay. So you got that, Toby? It's a relationship thing. We don't need to put marks down, yes? Okay. Bang.
Check with this.
Yes, that'll drive Pierce that way.
If I lean back, stretch your back.
Yeah.
If I lean back slightly to do that. Yeah, lean back slightly and then lean into it. And that takes...
And background action.
And action.
Your drinks.
Lucky I asked for it shaken.
And cut it. See, we've got you kind of going backwards on a line rather than stepping up that way. See that blue line back there? Yeah. Right. So it's kind of a short step back. Just try that for us. So Bond is down. He's down.
Let me do one like
Don't
that.
crack him up now. He'll once he starts stop him.
John, fire! Action!
Esto para verano sería bomba, vamos.
Magnificent view.
Sure is. Too bad it's lost on everybody else.
Mojita? Yes,
Darling. So I left you in a little explosive situation. You're a big boy. Maybe you should take care of yourself.
No wonder your relationships don't last.
Let's just say Mr. Bond. And Miss Swift. Space and Technology. Really? Well, I take it Mr. Bond is explaining his big grandparents. Oh, yeah, I think I got a thrust on it. See?
And action!
Getting sort of winding it up now. This is the last thing. She's just placing these diamonds because Rick suffered this huge explosion in a booby trap in a briefcase full of diamonds. So he's had multiple scars. Yeah, that's first.
Okay, little ones.
Sit it down.
What do you think?
Oh, blue boy. Does it feel all right? Oh, good at that.
Great, good. Great. Smells great, beautiful. Fabulous. All right.
One fascist!
Look at him. You'd think he was some kind of hero.
Got it. Perfect. Perfect.
Attention! And drop! And cut it. See if we can get one more in. If we can't, we'll...
Have we met before?
More excited about this one than I was any of the others. It's an interesting position to be in now because having done 3 movies and then coming to the 4th, there's a certain kind of confidence and relaxation that comes with that.
We needed someone who looked great, who was very beautiful, and could, you know, because that's what you have to be in this movie, these movies, but not an appendage. Somebody who really had some acting chops, someone who had some balls, so to speak, someone who could go head to head with this guy.
I said, you gotta be kidding me. They called up wanting to know what, if I'll be in what. I was really surprised, you know, and I just laughed like crazy at first. And then I thought, are you serious? They really want me to be in the Bond movie? And then I was really excited.
Jacinta Johnson. My friends call me Jinx.
My friends call me James Bond.
When you meet someone who's a genuine Bond fan and you see their face, you say, they say, what are you doing at the moment? You say, I'm doing the Bond film. Their whole face lights up, and, you know, to be part of that is fantastic.
Remember, I know all about you, 007. Sex for dinner, death for breakfast. Well, it's not going to work with me.
No.
No.
It's impossible to get into a genre like this where there's been 19 movies that have come before you, and some of them terribly famous. To me, that's the juice. You see, I'll take this on because A, it's a movie I wanted to make fantastic. You know, all a Bond movie, I'd got to make one of those. But secondly, you kind of go, well, let's ramp it up and let's amp everything up. You know, let's push the envelope.
When I was watching him as a child, I only saw certain aspects of him. Now that I'm older, I see the other sides of him. So Bond has actually changed to me. The journey that Bond has to go through now is something that he's never had to do before. And you know, this is really the Bond of the millennium.
When it hit me was really doing scenes with peers, you know. When I first started doing scenes with peers. And it's quite throwing, actually. You suddenly think, my God, you know, I mean, I'm opposite James Bond, you know. This is really freaky. I hope I don't ever get used to it, but it's certainly novel for me anyway, and I'm enjoying it immensely.
And Mr. Bond. James Bond.
Ultra-high frequency single-digit sonic agitator unit.
You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Still better than looking cleverer than you are. Follow me, please. It didn't seem so strange, actually, starting to do the lines as Q, because after all, I was playing R pretty much the same. I mean, basically, he has not to like Bond, or else the scenes aren't any fun.
160 BM, take 6.
Action. Torpedoes, target-seeking shot, hunt out moving objects. Why don't you acquaint yourself with the manual? Should be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours. I think that they've modulated it quite cleverly, and I think when they brought Judi Dench in to play M, that was a very smart move to bring such a high-grade actress in.
I was a fan years before I even dreamt I was going to be in a Bond film. I was a huge fan. And I think it's a glorious boys' world, which I think a lot of girls enjoy too.
There's quite a magical feeling around, and I think that's been around since the beginning. I think that started with Cubby.
James.
Money, Penny.
The fact that the films have moved with the times, that the Bonds have moved with the times, the fact that you're creating a world always one step away from where the real world is. So each step the scientists make, our writers in their imaginations have to go one step further, which means that it's always exciting.
I'm a big fan, but I don't know anybody who isn't. I mean, I think that it's pretty hard not to be. I think that I've heard that 1 out of 3 people in the world has seen a Bond picture, so that's quite a few. Look at him. You'd think he was some kind of a hero.
You know, I grew up watching Bond and sort of fantasizing about being in that world of mystery and intrigue and all the gadgets and sort of the fun, you know, and the fantasy of it. So to have a chance to be a part of it is just like sheer fun.
Oh, here?
They're quite special, these films. And when you're on a Bond set, again, there's no other set like it in the world.
I wasn't sure. It looked like the plate wasn't going to fall, which is why I hit it again.
We can cut between the two and get that right away.
But it looked good. It looked
Okay.
great, actually.
Okay.
Awesome.
And action.
You look like a little too into it. You all right?
Cool.
Good job.
The adrenaline's going. What else can I do?
Oh, dude. Hey, I tell you, if the music thing doesn't work out, stunts, you know.
flash photography.
No flash photography, please. No flash photography.
Yep. Uh-huh.
It's her landing here. Ideally, we won't use silicone. Ideally, we'll use candy.
Struggle longer, guys. They're going to struggle longer. Here we go. Let's roll cameras. Ready, and action.
And one last time. It's good. Struggle, struggle. Cool.
And cut.
Clean plate, please.
Ready, and action.